Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. I'm Carrie Freeman and happy Thanksgiving. It's a little inside joke if you haven't seen this before. Last week, I signed out by saying happy Thanksgiving. Go figure. But people thought it was funny, so there you have it. What can I say? My Left Ear is a left-leaning, independent, progressive political channel, but I also do psychic commentary on all of it. And did I tell you my name is Carrie Freeman? My name is Carrie Freeman. When I'm not doing this, I'm an author, and I call myself a change agent because I help people change in a positive way. I do that through psychic coaching and therapeutic hypnosis. And there are videos on this. The therapeutic hypnosis is video number 10. And the psychic coaching is video number 34. And the links are right below in the description, plus my email if you want to contact me and ask me any questions or how to set up a session. All right, there you go. And one little comment, because so many people bought a copy of my book, The Comic's Daughter, I want to just make another comment that once my stockpile has sold, there will be no more. And this, I think, is going to become a collector's item because it won't exist again in this form. And I will also put the link to order the book in the comment section. In the community section, so you can see that. But the reviews have been great. People have really liked it. So thank you. And thank you for those people that wrote me and ordered the book and loved the book. It made me so happy. All right, and then I always say this is for entertainment purposes only. And today, it's Friday the 13th. It's really weird. Anyway, today I'm going to start with good news. And the good news begins with Ron Desantis, governor of Florida, but I like to call him Vlad Desantis because he's so radical and fascist and so on and so forth. But he is weakening. My left ear is here to tell you he is weakening. And I'm so excited because he cannot continue being governor of Florida. All right, so here's why he's weakening. He appointed a judge, like Trump did, and the judge stopped the gerrymandering that Ron created, the gerrymandering map that leaves out a huge portion of black voters. And the judge said, no, this is unconstitutional. And that judge was appointed by Ron DeSantis, okay? Now, Disney, you may remember, DeSantis got very angry with Disney because they really didn't like the Don't Say Gay. And of course, they have gay and LGBT employees. And they didn't say anything wrong. They just said they didn't like it. And Ron DeSantis went after them like in that revenge way that narcissists do, sociopathic narcissists. But Disney's doing great. And it turned out that he couldn't, he was gonna get them for like billions of dollars and prevent them from, they have a situation, Disney, where they almost have their own little inner city of their own where they make decisions that goes like in construction. They don't have to go to Florida to get permission to do that. So they've been like very independent in Florida. And Ron was saying, you're not going to be independent anymore. We're going to own you. But that's not the way it worked out. If for Ron to do that, Ron would have to pay billions and billions of dollars. And that ain't going to happen. So as a result of this fight with Disney, Disney in Florida is doing better than ever. They're making more money. They have more visitors, and it is a blow to Ron DeSantis, okay? This is another one. Now, here's a mystery. The Florida Secretary of State, which is a woman, is abruptly leaving, and no one knows why. So keep an eye on that. I'm thinking maybe she saw something very illegal and went, I'm out of here. Or she was asked to do something very illegal and said, I'm out of here. That's what my left ear thinks. And then finally, the last good news is that, Ron DeSantis wanted to ban certain math books because he declared that they taught critical race theory. Now, my logical mind, without my left ear, goes, okay, how does a math book translate to critical race theory? It like fried my brain. But independent experts went over these math books, and there are no instances of critical race theory in those math books. My left ear thinks that Vlad Desantis was trying to give a friend of his, a colleague of his, who produces textbooks, like a big win, like a lot of money, like cut out everybody else. That's what I think. But Ron is not having a good time. There is a blowback. He's finding out he's not able to do all the things that he wants to do. So good news to me. And I would take any Democrat that would become governor of Florida, but I like Charlie Crist. I've heard him speak, and I feel that he's been around a long time. He has like a nice vibe, like Joe Biden, really reasonable, really mature, and he will take care of the people in Florida. You hear that, Florida? Charlie Crist. All right, good news, more good news. NATO is united and growing. And Admiral Saritas, who I just love, who's on MSNBC, now announced Finland and Sweden are joining NATO, and they have over 280,000 highly trained soldiers and reservists, highly trained reservists. Now, on top of that, they have huge defense budgets of $15 billion. Russia can't even come close to that defense budget, including artillery. Ukraine is strengthened, people. This is a huge boon because Sweden and Finland are going in to help. Really terrific. Good news. DOJ Garland has assembled a grand jury to investigate the classified boxes that Trump had removed from the White House and brought to Mar-a-Lago. I call it Mara-Fargo. Glenn Kirshner says that the defendants must prove that they knew the boxes were confidential or are confidential. And Trump may say, I declassified them before I left the office. He probably didn't, and probably someone will just whisper it in his ear, just say you declassified them. But there would have to be proof on that, and that would have to be proven. But here's the thing about it. The DOJ, which has been highly criticized, even by me sometimes, has assembled a grand jury. Now, just that is information. If there's one grand jury being assembled, there are other grand juries being assembled, all right? More good news. The subpoenas that were issued by the January 6th committee, which include Kevin McCarthy, Jim Jordan, Mo Brooks, Scott Perry. The thing that they want to find out, and they pretty much know, is that they all participated in meetings at the White House or had strategic conversations with Donald Trump. Now, we are waiting on some senators to see if they're going to get subpoenaed, and I'm not sure where that stands, but the senators that come to mind are Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. So we got to wait on those because I think both of them were very involved. And maybe Tom Cotton, but Tom Cotton, I think, is just an idiot. He's guilty of being an idiot. Now, my left ear knows, and most of the pundits, are talking about this, that it is not expected for any of those Congress people to show up for their subpoenas. They're going to not show up in solidarity. But I'm here to tell you, it's going to be on the record, and that is not going to be good for them. And eventually, when all of this goes to the DOJ, they will have to testify. So we wait. You know, I like Colonel Vindman, and he's on MSNBC a lot. He knows a lot. I mean, he's really kind of brilliant. And you can just tell he's such a cool person. But in his own words, he said, Ukraine is winning and will win, because he knows combat. So I'm just sharing that with you. All right, let's talk about the trouble with the Supreme Court. So the Roe versus Wade decision comes in June. That's when these Supreme Court bozos are going to get together. And not all of them are bozos, but some of them are bozos that got put in place by the turtle and Donald Trump. So they all perjured. These following people perjured themselves, because we have videotape and we have transcripts that when they were going through their confirmations, they all said that they don't know if they used the word protect, but would honor Roe v. Wade. There's a precedent. It's been 50 years. So when Alito, who wrote that vicious draft that we all got to see, that was leaked, when he was being confirmed, he said, listen to this. He said, Roe v. Wade is important precedent of the Supreme Court. He lied, my friends, because today he says, he wrote, Roe v. Wade was egregiously wrong from the start. What? He said it. Roe v. Wade must be overruled. And then the same with Amy Phony Barrett is what I call her, Gorsuch and Kava. According to Glenn Kirshner, Alito is guilty of abuse of the judiciary. He actually said that. And he's going, will Congress look the other way? So, you know, we'll see. I did do runes, so give me a minute here. Glenn said that Alito and the justices are committing conspiracy to deprive citizens of their rights. He also said that in all his years, he has never seen a draft from Scotus being leaked or go public. Like, this is a first. And they were punked by somebody. Now, some people think it's Ginny Thomas, and are speculating that she did the leak, thinking that if it went out there, it would lock in the justices. I thought perhaps a liberal clerk released it as a way to let the Democrats prepare and do like their preemptive strikes. Both are possible, and I have no doubts that Ginny Thomas would do that in a New York Minute, because she's corrupt. The thing, I don't know if any of you saw it, but I posted it on Community. Hakeem Jeffries, the most wonderful representative in Congress, Democratic, he let loose on Ginny and Clarence Thomas a few days ago in Congress. I mean, he let loose, and I posted it, the YouTube, in our community section. You must see what he said, and it was amazing. And he included both Clarence and Ginny, that they're both, I don't think he used the word crooked, I'm using the word crooked, but that they're both seditionists. It was epic. You really need to watch it. All right, so I don't know. I think maybe Glenn Kirshner said this. I'm not sure. I don't want to take anything away from him if he said it, but I'm not sure. But about the leak, here's the quote. Putting your eyes on a process alters the process. Again, that could be Ginny Thomas leaking it, thinking it would help a ban Roe v. Wade, or a liberal clerk. But it did put all eyes on the process. So that quote is true. All right, I said that. I'm just looking at my notes. Now, there is a rumor, I'll just share the rumor with you, that Justice Roberts is asking Brett Kavanaugh on the down low to vote against Alito so that they can get out of this mess, which is mushrooming. I tend to think this might be true. I think they're kind of trying to, like, how do we get out of this? Because the repercussions are, I don't even think these people thought about the repercussions. I think they, have been paid by dark money and they have a responsibility of some kind. Well, we'll find out. All right. So here's a few runes readings that I did for y'all. Here's the question. Will Scotus rethink Roe v. Wade? That one member. So I got, the first rune was defense. And it stands for avertive powers, like avoiding something. And it depends on the individual's ability to foresee consequences before they act. So Alito didn't think this thing was going to go out. So there wasn't any, let's see what people react to. It just went out, and nobody thought that this backlash would happen. So this rune says, avert anticipated difficulties through right action. And that right action may be one of these justices that are voting vote against overturning Roe v. Wade, and then they'll be the sacrificial lamb. And I think Kavanaugh might be the sacrificial lamb. I've been telling all my friends, it's not a done deal yet. It's not a done deal yet. Okay, so the next rune is constraint, and it indicates holdups. Maybe they'll put this off a little bit. It's scheduled for June, but maybe it'll go further. There will be holdups. Constraint helps expose our shadow side. That would be the court's shadow side, okay? And then the last one I love, I got the rune of movement. Movement is always good. I pulled a rune for a client last night and she got movement. It was a great way to wind up the session. But it's about transit, transition, new attitudes, new life. It is growth. A relationship may undergo changes, and that would be the right or the left. You have progressed far enough to feel a measure of safety in your position. I think it's entirely possible that one judge is going to vote against overturning Roe v. Wade. Can't guarantee it, but that's where I'm leaning. Now, the next rune, next subject, will there be perjury charges for lying to Congress at their confirmation hearings? And that would include Alito, Amy Coney Barrett, Kavanaugh, and Gorsuch, because they all, at their confirmations, they were all very vague, very neutral, and I'll get into that shortly. That perjury possibility that they'd be brought up on the charges, my left ear tells me it could be a year, because as you can see how long everything takes. But I got fertility. It harkens joyous deliverance, a rune of great power. It's emerging from a closed, chrysalis protected state, even a rut. Will they be brought up on perjury? And the secrets. Now there'll be freedom from a cultural rut, and it would be their cultural rut that they created by lying at their confirmation blatantly and then wanting to reverse Roe v. Wade out of nowhere, except dark money. And then they got gateway reversed. Hasty decisions at this time may cause regrets, like if they vote to overturn, may cause regrets. Well, it's certainly going to cause a lot of, well, we'll get into that later. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. So the quality of their passage depends on their clarity of intention. And Scotus is in jeopardy of acting from weakness, deception, and creating more problems that are more severe for them with a trial about perjury. And then the last one, it's like, yeah, they will, it's going to catch up with them, because I got the rune of stand still. It is the darkest rune in the whole set of runes. It is, actually it says, this is the winter of your spiritual life. It is upon you. It's not good for them. It's not good for these justices. But they feel, untouchable. And it says positive accomplishment for them is not accomplished. There's no positive accomplishment for them if and when they go up for perjury, but not for a year, okay? And then this is the last room. It's very interesting. I asked, will the Democratic voters turn out in droves for the midterms? Because as you know, that's what we need. We need a tsunami of voters. And my left ear said, this is murky, which I didn't love hearing, but we've got time and I'll throw these again. Maybe it's right now it's murky, but I got journey, which is normally great, in the reversed position. And it says, ruptures are likely. Hope for outcomes may elude. There are rerouting opportunities here and obstacles, okay? Then I got the rune of the self, and it talks about clarity and willingness to change are key. It is a time of major growth and rectification, and it advises be attached, be detached, be in the world, but not of it. Fight for the sake of the fight, and that means just keep doing the work. Chop wood, carry water. Just keep doing the work. And it does say events beyond our control, because the last rune is the rune of disruption. It's a little different than the tarot, but it indicates change, freedom, liberation. Events beyond our control. Disruption is the great awakener. And my left ear feels that this disruption is about the GOP trying to obstruct and causing a huge fight. So my interpretation, and we'll come back to this, is that Dems will show up. But the GOP, with their gerrymandering and their Secretary of States in place and their tricky little crimey laws, will cause the disruption and the fight. So if I had to, well, I have to interpret because that's what I'm doing. Here's what I suspect. There will be a good turnout and the GOP will fight it. Okay, that's what I think that means. I wish all the people that are candidates, and I said this before, would just spell out what losing democracy means. I wish they would spell out what the overturning of Roe v. Wade means. So let me give you an example. If there was a movie that was going to shoot, like, I don't know, in Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, Oklahoma, where these laws about women are draconian, and now they're talking about a proposed death sentences for women who have an IUD. It hasn't passed, but that shows you how insane it is. When women miscarry, they're going to be investigated. So it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. If you're a woman who miscarries, you're going to be investigated. It's going to be reported. Now, if a movie company wants to go shoot a film, let's say in Alabama, and someone on the staff or in the crew or even one of the female actors experiences an ectopic pregnancy while they're working in that state, those women will not be saved. So I believe film commissions will start pulling out of these states because they're not safe for women. And there's going to be a huge, like Janet Yellen said, there's going to be a huge financial fallout if this goes through. All right. Now I'm moving on now. We're getting close. The May 9th victory parade in Russia. Putin looked awful. He looked bloated. He looked pale. He continues to look this way. But that, and everybody agrees, that parade was lackluster. The flyover was canceled. They blamed it on weather. The weather was nice. Putin did not declare war against Ukraine. He made no big threats at his little speech. He didn't talk about nuclear, using nuclear arms. His speech was flat. It was short and very uninspired, okay? And the day that Putin did this with all the fanfare, Zelensky made a very effective video in his green t-shirt, and he upstaged Putin. So the war is going catastrophically for Putin, but it doesn't mean it's going to end tomorrow. He's going to have a tough time accepting that. And so we don't know what kind of games he's going to play, or more propaganda he's going to. All right, my friends, we're getting to the quotes now. I did like a 45-minute video over a week ago, and that was a mistake, I want you to know. So I don't want any of my videos to go that long. It's okay if I'm with Milu and we went 45, but so we're winding it up now. And here's the quotes. And I want to repeat this because I think it's so brilliant. Just repeating this. Putting your eyes on a process alters the process. And I know, it's any process. Okay, so hold on to that. Now, the next quote is by Wilma Rudolph. And Rudolph became the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in track and field at the same Olympic game. Her performance also earned her the title of the fastest woman in the world. And her quote, "Nobody goes undefeated all the time. If you can pick up after a crushing defeat and go on to win again, you are going to be a champion someday." And of course, the Ukrainians and Zelensky come to mind on this. And just what a great quote. Now, this is a quote because it's hard to fathom, but maybe it isn't hard to fathom, okay? It's hard to fathom from my personal filter, but in the world view and what we're seeing right now, it really isn't. So this is something I don't normally do, but I must share it with you. This is from a woman named Kathy Barnett, and she's a Republican candidate in Pennsylvania, but I don't know whether it's Congress or the Senate. She said publicly, you're not going to believe this. She said, "Please pray for my babies and me. We are about to board the plane and there's a homosexual female there." I'm serious. I'm serious, guys. Could that person actually get elected? Yes, she could. I'll have to look into that, but I just went, okay, I have got to tell this story. So now I'm going to get to my good evidence. I just have some cool evidence that I'm sharing. I have a friend named Jonathan. Jonathan is a very successful actor, and he was on 2 hit series. I'm just going to leave it at that for the moment. But we've been friends for a very, very, very long time. And he read The Comic's Daughter, the book that some of you have bought, and he loved it. And he happens to be in a position where he gave a copy personally to his friend, who is the vice president of entertainment for Sony Pictures. And he gave the other copy to a friend of his personally, that he was vice president of AMC and Fox Television, which is different than Fox News, by the way, okay? Fox TV Entertainment. So that's huge, all right? Just gonna tell you that. So when this happened, I was just driving around in my car and thinking, God, well, I might have be able to join the Writers Guild if this gets made into a movie. And I was just driving around. I was thinking, oh, I wonder what it costs to join the Writers Guild. And by the way, it's really expensive. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. And they take the money out of your first paycheck. And so I just kind of like, it was kind of like last week. I was thinking about really wanting some good Tangelos. And then a guy just gave me some out of the blue. Well, this is kind of similar. So I'm at Starbucks yesterday, and I'm in my favorite little corner, and I'm writing, and I'm doing all this stuff. Finally, I finish up, and there are two women, like middle-aged women that are sitting right near me. And I start packing up all my stuff, and so I just stand up, and one of the women kind of reaches out and says, hi, you know what? She paid me a compliment. It's really embarrassing to tell you this, but she just said, I just think you're so attractive and pretty and da-da-da. And are you an actor? And she was so friendly, and we just got talking. I said, oh, I'm a writer, and I have a YouTube, and I do therapy, blah, blah. Oh, and they were so friendly and interested. And they said, well, we're with the Writers Guild. I swear to God, both women. We said, oh, we're retired now, but we were with the Writers Guild for like 30 years. And I said, oh my God, I was just thinking about the writer. So they gave me some information, and one of the women said, I'm looking for something to read. I would love to read your book. So I said, well, I've got one copy in the trunk of my car. I'll give it to you if you want to read the book. So I went to the trunk of my car and I got the copy. And she said, will you write down your phone number? Because I really want to be able to text you or call you afterwards. And I can't wait to read your book. So I left Starbucks, and that was just a really fun. I was like, what are the odds on that? I mean, I don't think about the Writers Guild. That's not even been on my, bingo list, because it just felt so far removed from, I don't know, my imagination. So the spirit is around. Messages are around. Thoughts go out like little nice missiles, That's what I want to say. So I will talk to you soon. I'll follow up on some of the questions that I placed here today. And I want to say thank you, and make peace, make good memories. Okay? And Merry Christmas. It's going to be Christmas. Okay. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.